Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. If you've been here before, if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. I was asked by my friend Jenny Goff, she has her YouTube channel here also, and I'm sure you've already seen her video this week, to join her in a Christmas in July collaboration. We're doing this with, I think, there's 9 channels altogether. We've got Jenny's channel, mine, In the Kitchen with Karen, the Beals, my friend Miss Lori over at Whippoorwill Holler, Linda's Pantry, I knew I was going to forget these, Sutton's Days, Prepper's Potpourri, and Tulilu Creates. I think I got them all. I'm going to put them down below just in case I missed one. I don't know if I did or not, but I'll put them down below in the description. You're going to want to go to every one of their channels. These channels are amazing. They have some great content. Go to their channels. They're going to be doing videos all this week, or actually all this month, Monday through Friday. On Christmas in July, there's going to be some cooking videos, some crafting videos. There's all kinds of different things. So you're really going to want to check them all out. And also go to their channels, watch the video, and comment down below, because Jenny's going to do a drawing at the end of the month and pick one of the videos on one of the days and pick a comment from there. So to be eligible to win, you need to put a comment on everybody's videos. While you're at it, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. You're going to want to watch these all the time. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a caramel praline bread pudding. Kind of hard to get into the mood of Christmas. It's 98 degrees. I'm in South Florida, all the way down Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. It's kind of hard to get into the mood for Christmas, even in December, because it's still in the 80s and 90s. Kids used to go out in their shorts and Christmas Day and play with their stuff outside. I'm used to Ohio winters where it's all snow. Down here, we don't have that so much. So let me tell you what all we got. We got our loaf of bread. I laid this out last night just to get a little bit dried out. It didn't do a lot, but any kind of leftover bread you have, white bread, French bread, Italian bread, anything you want, just, break it up. And you're going to use it in a 9x9 casserole dish. We've got 3 cups of milk. I've got 1 cup over here that I've warmed up a little bit. We want to warm up 1 cup and then 2 cups cold. 5 eggs, 1/3 of a cup of sugar. I've got a full cup of pecans here, crushed pecans that I only had whole pecans, so I just put them in a bag and beat them with the rolling pin. We're going to use half of them in the topping, half of them in this part, and some vanilla, 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. A lot of people think it's crazy putting salt in a sweet dish, but it actually enhances the flavor. Sweet and salty really goes together well. So first, what we're going to do is we just need to break up our bread, and you can cut it up if you want to. You can cut it in nice little cubes. I really don't take all that time to do that. I just use my hands and break it all up. If you watched any of my videos and you've been here before, you see that I like to use my hands, the best tools in the kitchen. So let me put these together. I was really happy when Jenny asked me to be part of this because I love Christmas. I mean, if you see a lot of my website, you see tons of Christmas recipes for not only sweets and desserts, but also savory dishes that I grew up with. I have a Southern background on my mom's side and kind of a farmer's Pennsylvania Dutch on my dad's side. So I've got the best of both worlds. Now this isn't going to look like it's all going to fit, and we will go ahead and stack it on top, get it all in there, because we're going to pour our topping over it. And we're going to let that sit for about 20 minutes. And we're going to let all that goodness soak down into the bread and make the pudding part. So there we go. Get these last pieces in here. One jumped out over here. All right. So now we got that in there. I'm going to mix together the 2 cups of cold milk and the 5 eggs. Woo! And I'll clean up a little mess I'm making here with the eggs. We're going to put in the sugar. And if you can't remember what all I'm putting in here, I will put all of the ingredients down below in the description. And if you forget any of the ingredients, I will put them all down below in the description. So we're just going to put that in there. That is room temperature butter. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla that I like to use. We're just going to mix this all together. those eggs broken up in there. The eggs and the milk really make it rich. Now I do another bread pudding that I use a lot more eggs and mainly egg yolks. And instead of milk, I use whole cream, which is gonna make it really rich. But this one's blended down just a bit. So now I got that all mixed in. I'm gonna put in my warm milk. That all combined. Okay, now get all this stuff out of the way. And I've got breadcrumbs everywhere. Okay, now we're just going to pour this mixture over top of this. Make sure your bread is inside the ride at all times. If not, when you pour this in, it's going to pour over the side. So we're just going to put this over. Then we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes and let all that goodness soak in. And once that all soaks in and it's been 20 minutes, I will be back and I will show you the topping we're going to do and the mixture we'll be putting on top. I'm just going to push it all down in there so it all can get in that milky egg goodness. And I'm going to let that soak there, let it sit there and soak up all of that, and I'll be back in about 20 minutes. See you then. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. The bread, as you can see, has soaked up that milk egg mixture. It's really wet on top. I did take an egg turner and I turned over each section, well, each area. Just turned it over because the bottom soaked it in really quick and I wanted the top to get nice and moist. So I just flipped over. So this is what was originally on the bottom. So it's all done. I'm going to push it aside. Now we're going to put together the topping. I cannot talk today. So we're going to use a half a cup of packed brown sugar. We're going to use 1/3 cup of flour. And I have another 3 tablespoons of butter. This time it's melted. Just going to put that in there, kind of like making a topping for a cobbler or a crisp. We'll put this all together. And this we're just going to sprinkle on the top. So let's just bring that all together. And you can add to this, you can add some seasonings, cinnamon, ginger, whatever your family may like. This is just my simple version. I think the caramel sauce that I'm going to be putting on top is really going to set it off. So I didn't feel the extra need for the cinnamon and all that things that you normally have around the holidays. I want just a little bit different. Okay, so this is pretty well brought together. So now I showed you this pecans earlier. We're going to use half of them now and just sprinkle them over the top. And this is totally optional if you don't want to put pecans, or if you have a nut allergy, you can make this without the pecans. And now we're just going to sprinkle the topping that we did, put it right over the top. And then I've got the oven already preheated to 400 degrees. Well, it's almost preheated. It should be going off any second now. And we're going to bake it 45 to 55 minutes. I always check it around 45 minutes because everybody's ovens cooks a little bit differently. This one, for some reason, cooks a little slow and a little low. So I check it about 45 minutes, just make sure how it's doing and then go from there. So I'm going to put it in the oven. I'll be back in about 45, 50 minutes, maybe a couple minutes sooner, so I can show you the sauce we're going to put on top. And I'll see you then. Take care. Okay, y'all, we only have a few more minutes left on the bread pudding in the oven. I just checked on it. It looks pretty nice and brown on top and puffed up. So let's make the topping that we're going to pour over the bread pudding when we serve it. It's just 3 tablespoons of water. And we'll get that in there. We got a quarter cup of packed brown sugar. I'm using light. You can use dark if you want. The only difference in the light and the dark is there's more molasses in the dark. And then I have 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of white corn syrup. So let me get that in there. I have too many utensils. And this is just going to keep the praline syrup from getting real hard. Okay, we're going to bring that to a boil. And we're just, once it comes to a boil, we're only going to boil it for like 20-30 seconds. First, mainly we just want to dissolve that brown sugar and just thicken it up a little bit. And once that comes out, I'll put in another ½ teaspoon of vanilla and my pecans. Now you don't want to leave this. You don't want to. I mean, just like making caramel. If you've ever made caramels at Christmas or near time, caramel apples for Halloween, you just want to watch this real close because it will burn quickly. As you can see, it's already a nice amber color, which is that's from the molasses and the brown sugar. And it's already starting to simmer down at the bottom. I got sticky fingers. I touched that syrup. Now, if you want to make an adult version of this, which I've done many times, you can put some bourbon. I have some caramel. Actually, what is that? I got this in Tennessee when I was there. Old Smoky salted caramel whiskey. That, 2 or 3 tablespoons in the sauce after you take it off. That's amazing too. But that's the adult version. Don't put that on if you're gonna. Kids and family are gonna be eating this. All right, all that brown sugar is dissolved. Been boiling for about 30 seconds. I'm just gonna turn it off and we'll let it sit here over the heat, and I'll add the pecans and the vanilla once it stops boiling. If you pour in the vanilla now, it's just gonna burn off all the flavor. So I let it cool just a little bit. So I'll pull this off the burner and get ready to take out the bread pudding, and I'll be back to show you when we put it all together. Okay, the praline sauce has cooled down. It's no longer boiling. So I'm going to add in the pecans. And actually, I'm going to set that there. I don't want to burn the countertop. And just ½ teaspoon of the vanilla. We're just going to bring that all together. I just want those pecans to soak up a little bit of that praline. Get some flavoring on them. And I'm going to put them right in here. Now you can, a lot of people like a lot more sauce. So you can double or triple the sauce recipe. You can cook it down a little bit longer, make it more like a caramel sauce, make it thicker. But this is good, I think, just to put over top of it. It's already rich enough. So I'll be back as soon as we get the bread pudding out of the oven. Okay, y'all, if you see, I brought the KitchenAid mixer over here. I was gonna put some ice cream on top of this and show you that nice melty ice cream going right all around the bread pudding. I don't have any vanilla ice cream. I can't believe I'm out. So I'm gonna make some whipped cream. I'm just gonna put maybe about ½ cup of heavy whipping cream in and put this on high. You do want to watch this when you're making homemade whipped cream, because if you go too far, once it gets to the nice stiff peaks, quickly it will instantly turn right into butter. You got a big old thing of butter in there, and you'll have your buttermilk. So I'm going to let this whip up a little bit. I do want to get a little bit of powdered sugar, just to give it a little bit of sweetness, maybe about a tablespoon. I'll get my vanilla back out and we'll put a little vanilla in there. Maybe about ½ teaspoon. And you don't have to do this. You can use full whip. You can use a little spray can. I kind of not been allowed to buy any of that stuff. Once everyone found out I could make homemade whipped cream. In this house, it has to be homemade. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Just that quick, we have homemade whipped cream. Give it a taste, make sure it's sweet. Perfect. It's going to taste great on top of that praline bread pudding. We put everything away. The bread pudding is just about ready to come out, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, the timer just went off. Let's get the bread pudding out. Ooh, steam facial. That looks wonderful. So now I'm going to let it cool for a minute or two because this is piping hot. We'll put the praline sauce on it and the whipped cream, and we'll be right back. Okay, it's been a few minutes. I can't wait any longer. My kitchen smells amazing. I have to have some of this. So let's just cut a small piece out. Brown sugar kind of like caramelized against the side of the pan here. This is always the fun part. The first piece is never pretty. But I'm going to get it out. Oops. There we go. Steam coming off that. All right, now the praline sauce. Just gonna give it a little stir, get some of that syrup up from the bottom. A little bit of that over here. And last but not least, I would put ice cream, but since I didn't have any, we'll use that homemade whipped cream. I'm going to cheat and put a little bit more of that syrup right over the top of that whipped cream. There you go, folks. My homemade caramel praline bread pudding. Give it a try. You guys are going to love this. You don't have to do it just at Christmas. I have to get a bite of this. Let me get another spoon. Like I said, you don't have to do this just at Christmas, but this is one of the Christmas decadent dishes that I usually do. We get a taste of this. It'll burn my face. That bread is so moist. And I can taste all that brown sugar down in there. Delicious. Give it a try. Again, thank you, Jenny, for having me in this collaboration. Don't forget to go over and check out In the Kitchen with Karen, The Beals, Miss Lori at Whippoorwill Holler, Sutton's Days, Linda's Pantry, Prepper Potpourri, and Two Lilo Creates. You're going to love all of their recipes as well. Don't forget to subscribe to them. Leave a comment down below so you're eligible for the drawing. And don't forget to hit the like button. Again, thank you for coming to my kitchen. I'm blessed to have you guys here. Happy Christmas in July, and you'll have a good day. Bye-bye.